This is probably the biggest point boost that I've gotten in a single round just by switching out one unit. The win rate in the thumbnail is this trial win rate. Let me just show you real quick. There we go, 94% win rate, and then previous round as well, 96%. This is just a trial when I was at 0.8%. When you pair up Jinchu with Mavis, Mavis becomes unkillable. But you can get a step further by bringing Ggez and also Archibald in the same team. So if you guys don't know what Jinchu does, R2 Jinchu, I recently got him today from Ripples. His R2 is that when any teammate grants him buffs, he will give that teammate Intimidate buff for one turn. The Intimidate buff is dealing damage, recovers HP, and HP recovery is 20% of the damage. And then also, the biggest factor to this Intimidate buff is the gain shield before receiving ability at base attack, and the shield strength is equals to 30% of the target's max HP. This is absolutely disgusting. It is insane, overpowered, because it's a reactive shield that keeps on replenishing on every single hit. It's not just per skill, it is per hit. This is why it's so broken, right? So when you pair that up with Mavis, that has a passive that gives all allies crit rate whenever she moves, she's always going to be getting this Intimidate buff for the duration of the fight as long as Jinchu doesn't have any buff block on him. And again, when you want to go a step further and make Mavis unkillable, you run Archibald in the same team. So Archibald shares 25% of Mavis incoming damage, which means it's kind of like a 25% damage reduction to Mavis. And then also, Ggez shares 15% of all single target damage that is coming towards your allies, right? So whenever Mavis takes a single target ability, she's going to get a 40% damage mitigation. 25% from Archibald, and then 15% further from Ggez. So she becomes unkillable. So I'm going to show you the win rate right now. Again, when it comes to the trial, I was at 0.8%, so the win rate is extremely high, 96%. But as you gradually climb up the ladder, you will lower your win rate, right? But it's still pretty high, 86% win rate. Don't mind the Teor team. This one is not leveled up because the rival rune system is a very good system. I'm just kidding. If I ever say that statement once again, unironically, please someone kill me. 86% win rate, and the only team that it loses is sometimes if I get really unlucky and they kind of get to one-shot my Mavis. But you know, other teams, it wins against Ana teams very easily as well, because it can out-sustain all the incoming damage that Ana does. So you whittle down the enemy's team one by one, and then when Ana is the only one alive, your Archibald, Ggez, and then your Feng Shun will easily deal with Ana at that point. Again, it does sometimes occasionally loses if that team has a pretty strong single target ability and defense break, like Brewster right here. He has defense break. Unas also has defense break on his skill. Sometimes I do lose against, again, Haley, very strong defense breaker. Sometimes I do lose against a Ggez, and yeah, there we go, a Ggez. Let me just show you this fight real quick. I lose against Ggez because he does apply that buff block, and when Jinchu has that buff block, it will make the team very squishy at that point. So when Ggez does his nuke, I'm just going to not gain the shield on Mavis anymore, and when Mavis does not get the shield, she can just get tunneled down and die, right? Okay, let's see. I think my Mavis just got one shot by Ggez right here. Yeah, I couldn't even get a turn in, and she just got one-shotted because the additional lightning strike went to her. So I still probably could have a chance here if that additional lightning strike didn't go to her. Yeah, we only lost like a few matches. Yeah, there we go. Let me show you. There's some Ana teams right here. There we go. There's an Ana. It's a very slow, tedious fight, but again, it's a battle of attrition at the end of the day, because this team, while it doesn't have that much healing, it does have a crazy amount of shield, right? And shield doesn't really go away in PvP. So let me show you this fight real quick. He has a lot of healers, but he doesn't have any shield espers. Shield is extremely overpowered in PvP, especially when you can consistently apply it. Units like the prime example of shield unit is right now is Jinchu, but before Jinchu we had that 4-star epic esper. I can't really remember her name. It's like the buff chick. I can't remember her name, but you know what I'm talking about, right? That chick was also pretty good. she is one of the best shield unit, but her shield is not reactive like Jinchu, right? It's way weaker. Like Jinchu is the best shield unit by far. It's not like the second best shield unit doesn't even come close to what type of shield that Jinchu provides, right? The reactive shield is kind of broken right now in the game. Like, see, I took like 0 damage from Ana. Ana couldn't even break through my shield because I have a lot of damage reduction, and the shield is 30% of my HP. Running HP lead, that's also going to boost my HP even more. And then, you know, with the damage reduction that Archal provides, with Ggez provides, it's just unkillable. My Mavis is just unkillable. Look, she's full health, and she keeps on healing as well, because if Ana happens to break the shield, Intimidate buff also heals 20% of my Mavis, you know, the damage, incoming damage that Mavis takes. So it's really difficult for you to kill Mavis. See, Mavis is 100% HP right now, and at that point, again, she cannot really kill off my Mavis, and Ana's AI will always target Mavis. Let's see against like a speed cleave team. This one is with CJ and Tolan. Tolan is not going to do much against this team because my fastest unit is not Mavis anymore, it's Feng Shun. You couldn't run Jin Yu Yao in this team because Tolan would just counter this strategy, because he would just exile my Mavis and this team wouldn't work at all, right? But since I have Feng Shun in the team, he is going to be faster than my Mavis. Tolan will target my Feng Shun instead of my Mavis. I think my Mavis still gets one shot here because CJ does a lot of damage. No, his CJ got stunned because of my JJ. Yeah, and that's the power of JJ's Divinate as well. It's really good. Stunning the entire team, irresistible as well. And then we're also going to get the new Shimmer 5-star that also has an irresistible AP reduction. And then also buff removal. That's also going to be huge against like this type of cleave team that has the cleave unit moving last. So at this point, you might want to run your cleaver, not the slowest in the team. So maybe run like double AoE DPS. So that way your first DPS can kill off Iki. That's the most important thing, right? Killing off Iki with your buffs. Without buffs, sometimes you can't really reliably one-shot Iki. But again, this video is not about Iki, it's about this insanely disgusting combo. Archibald, if you guys don't know, when he is in this state, he still shares the damage that Mavis takes. But since he's invincible, since you cannot take any damage, right? You basically have 25% damage reduction on Mavis at all times. Here's another Tolan team. I forgot what I was saying. Archibald's damage mitigation in this team is unlike JJ's, where JJ is only single target, right? So if the enemies do an AoE attack, JJ's damage mitigation that he shares from all allies would not work. Archibald, when the enemies do an AoE attack, he still shares 25% of the damage that is incoming from Mavis. So Mavis will pretty much have 25% damage reduction at all times. And that's the reason why she is basically unkillable in this team. The only way that you can really kill this team is you run a Shren Pin to one-shot my Mavis. When she has defense break, without defense break, it's still very difficult to one-shot her. Or you run a very strong single target DPS with defense break, because without defense break, you cannot really kill her off. And then the other way is to buff block either Mavis or Jinchu, because if you buff block Jinchu, my Mavis will not get the Intimidate buff and she will not gain the shield. And if you buff block Mavis, even if she gives the buff to my Jinchu, the shield would not proc on her, right? Because buff block is on her. Yeah, it's a very slow team, but it gets the job done because again, they can't kill off my Mavis, and since Mavis will always be on the battlefield unless Tolan 0 hours her, my entire team is unkillable, right? So as long as they can't kill my Mavis, they can't kill the rest of my team. And also my Jinchu is not maxed out. He is far from maxed out. He has D0. He doesn't even have Divinate on him. He has 0 skill ups. The only investment I have on him is R2. Again, that's still quite a lot, but again, they gave one copy for free, and I've already mentioned this before. His R2 is where you kind of want him to be at. R0 is completely garbage. He is unusable at R0 in PvP and in PvE as well, but once you get him to R2, he just becomes a monster for the team. Not as a bruiser, like I said, because he doesn't have any guaranteed form of damage. He does a little bit of damage here and there, but he's just mainly there for the shield. The shield is just so overpowered that his role in this team pretty much is just to provide the shield for Mavis. And that alone can ramp you up to 80% win rate, 90% win rate. Okay, let's show you one where I lost because I get one shot by Ggez and Shenpin. Shenpin might have a resurgence in PvP. She will always have a place as the best damage amplification support in the game for PvP. That title is not going to go anywhere for a while, because you know the horse buff is just kind of overpowered. It doubles pretty much all 2 of your DPS damage, and as you can see, the Brewster is doing insanely crazy damage to my my entire team. And then Ggez, when he gets his stun, is probably just gonna one-shot my Mavis right here because of that horse buff. Let's see, boom, almost one-shots. And then Brewster takes his turn, he's probably gonna one-shot my Mavis at that point. Yep, there we go. Simple, because you know Shenpin just one-shots the Mavis. The only way that you can deal with this team is when you can one-shot Mavis, or you apply like buff blocker, right? If you try to out-sustain this team, that will never happen with healing, unless you bring your own Jinchu. Then that could work, you know, battle of attrition through shields. That's also gonna rely on a bit of RNG, right? If I proc my stuff more than you, then you might lose. Let's show a few Tolan teams, because some people say that Tolan cannot be countered if you don't outspeed him. But if you can out-tank the team, which is, you know, we have so many free-to-play aspers to out-tank Tolan teams that doesn't have an Ana, like Emma and Hengyue. Those teams can pretty easily counter Tolan comps that doesn't have an Ana, unless that Tolan comp has like a R6 Lian that can out-sustain my team. Then that could be problematic, right? But a Tolan comp that doesn't have any heal can just be out-tanked super easily. So the argument that says Tolan cannot be countered by not going first, I don't know what the hell you're talking. I don't know what you're smoking. But you're on some type of stuff, that's for sure. Yeah, there we go. My Mavis is still 100% HP. And this is also with defense break as well. That's kind of crazy. With defense break, and he has a Brewster in his team, it still doesn't manage to kill off my Mavis because of all the damage reduction. Okay, this team I don't really know how the hell I lost, because he doesn't have any buff block on his team, and he doesn't really have a strong single target nuker. So for him to really deal against my Mavis, that would really take a while. And his Jinchu doesn't even have R2. Oh, okay, I see. So he reduces my HP every single time Tricky buff strips me. So yeah, at a certain point, I think my Mavis will go down to 50% HP because of all of the HP cap reduction. And then I would just be, you know, squishy at that point. Poison stacks does add up quite a fair bit. Yeah, she just dies. Okay, I think that's the last team I'm going to show you. Let's just recap and see what type of team we lose against and what type of team we win. Again, another R2 Jinchu, and we lost against an Mavis comp. So the only way that you can out-sustain this team is by running your own R2 Jinchu. Tolan comps, we can beat it pretty easily, because again, my fastest unit in the team is not Mavis anymore. It's Feng Shun, right? Okay, we did lose against this one because of buff blocker. Again, speed cleave team, pretty easy to deal with. Ana teams, pretty easy to deal with. Another Tolan comp, but not that strong of a single target DPS. Genie is not really doing much against my Mavis because of all of the damage reduction. She will never kill off my Mavis. Another Tolan comp. Ana. Yeah, we kind of farming all of the Ana comps right now. See, what is this team? Okay, this one is Ana and Brewster. I think he just one-shots my Mavis. And also Brewster has buff block on his S3, so that could also kill off my Mavis pretty easily. Another Tolan. This is a very weird team. And lastly, we lose against this Tolan team because his CJ just one-shots my Mavis. Again, if you want to replicate this team, you need R2 Jinchu. Without his R2, don't even bother running him. He is completely garbage, completely useless at R0. And these spots right here are flexible, but I like to go for Feng Shun because again, if you don't run a faster unit than Mavis, then Tolan comps will just completely shut down this strategy, right? By running Feng Shun right here, he will be the fastest in the team, so he will take the first hit of Tolan. And then these two spots I went with Jiangzuli and Archibald to provide the damage reduction. I moved my MR comp here, but this team is completely garbage. I would need more levels on Ollie for this to work, but I don't have enough resources to level it up. Look at that, my Shrine Prince is level 2. I'm saving my rival runes for the Shimmer one for Iki. Even if Teor is at 15, level 15 rival runes, he's not really gonna do much. I'm gonna show you his win rate real quick. It is completely horrendous, man. This guy has fallen off in knockout, in PvP so much, man. In like auto PvP, right? You can still use him in point war, but in like knockout, like look at this, 30%, 79, 300% matches, 300 matches by the way, 9% win rate. Yeah, it doesn't even crack like 40%. We do have 50% right here, but that's with Daji. Daji is probably carrying this team like super hard. Okay, this one has 81% win rate, but coincidentally, it has Ana. So I think maybe this 81% win rate is all attributed to Teor, right? Maybe not Ana. I think Ana only contributed like maybe 1% of their win rate. And then again, 13%. Look at this. Even Feng Shun. Feng Shun is suffering with Teor in the team. Like 13% win rate on Feng Shun is kind of wild. I'm not gonna lie. 1941. Like look at this. This is just so sad, man. The win rate on Teor is just so sad. You cannot really make him work in the current meta right now because his AI is just completely garbage. Unless they change his AI, he's not gonna work in knockout or in auto content because his AI is just so terrible. Always targeting the enemy with the highest attack just is a terrible design on this Esper right here, especially in PvP, auto PvP, right? In PvE, targeting the highest attack is a good thing. But yeah, that's about it. I just wanted to highlight this team real quick. And yeah, ciao.